Hey, it's Bob, and it is my favorite episode of each week. That's right, my favorite. It's also our most watched and most listened to. It's our Discoveries of the Week. We're going to talk today about Discoveries of the Week that have come up as we've talked about Renegade marketing. All that and more on this edition of today's Antidote.
Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom.
Good morning, Bob in the car. How are you today?
I'm good, Tom, in the office.
I see what you did there. Welcome, everyone, to today's Antidote, our daily broadcast and podcast. And as Bob mentioned in the beginning, this is our weekly wrap-up show where we share our discoveries of the week around our conversation of renegade marketing. Just as if you haven't caught anything all week, last week we talked about me marketing and a little bit of some of the challenges that we see with that. So we thought that we would share with everyone this week, about renegade marketing and what that looks like, since we are the Renegade Success Network. And I thought that would be valuable to share with others. And as you can tell, Bob is in his hoodie. He's out on the road. I like it.
It's Friday.
With the sun in his eyes. Always beautiful. So that's for those of you. I was going to say, that's for those of you who are listening to the podcast. If you wonder what's going on, Bob's in his car traveling today. So nothing wrong with that. So as we dive into our conversation, we hope that if you have thoughts or ideas or discoveries that you would like to share, that you will please feel free to put them in the comments. If you happen to be watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or
LinkedIn Live.
Okay, that was a little aggressive, and that's okay. I liked it. So we know how valuable that would be to not only our show. We had a great question earlier this week that was really helpful and sort of changed the direction of the topic, or added to it, I guess I should say. And we know that that's always helpful. So if you have a question you want to share, comment you want to make, or you want to share your discovery of the week, please feel free to put it in the comments, because we know that someone out there, it will be value for them. If you happen to be listening to the podcast, and we know you can't add comments, we would still encourage you to share this with others, because it might add value to their day. Or you can rate this program. And how should they rate the program, Bob?
5 stars. That's all. The only answer, 5.
Awesome.
Cinco.
So we would love for you to rate it 5 stars. And one of the things that if you really have a discovery of the week you want to share, whether it's around renegade marketing or something else that you discovered this week that you think might be of value to others, go to our Ring of Renegades Facebook group. And there is a post in there inviting our members, 1,200 strong, to share their discoveries of the week so that others can benefit as well. And then if you want, tomorrow morning, you can share your celebrations for the week. So our Ring of Renegades Facebook group is a great community for you to go and have the opportunity to share when sometimes it feels like you're all alone and you don't have that community of support. Our Facebook group is there to support you through the challenge that you have, as well as be there when you want to celebrate the achievements that you've made.
Can I add 2 things, Tom?
Certainly.
One, the discoveries of the week don't have to be wrapped around our topic. It could just be you figured something out. I figured out a new way to do my taxes. I figured out a new way to get postage on something that I was mailing from my house. It can be anything that you discover that's going to help you as a renegade pursue your path. And then the other thing is that I totally blanked on what the other thing was. I'm just completely it's gone like that. That was good. Please proceed, Tom.
Okay. And you didn't hear me say that it didn't have to be around our topic? That's okay. It's all right.
I didn't. Did you say that?
I didn't. That's all right. It was
Okay.
good to emphasize it, that people can come in there and there's
I know what the other thing is. I realized it.
okay.
Sharing it, making it real, putting it out in a form of written word is a very powerful tool. It makes it much more concrete for you and for the people around you. It also creates a possible connection with someone who goes, oh, wow, I didn't realize I was the only person who had struggled with that challenge. Or there's a solution I can take on, and that might lead to developing a relationship.
Awesome. Well, excellent. Thank you for adding those 2 points. We appreciate it. So now, before we dive into our discoveries of the week around Renegade marketing, we'll start the show the way we always do with our celebrations. What are you celebrating today, Bob? I'm
going to celebrate great customer service. I was at a fast food restaurant yesterday, a popular one that sells chicken and isn't open every day of the week. And there was an employee there who was really, really thorough and polite and hit on all cylinders and did a great job. And it occurred to me that this is not an easy job. You know, he was outside, people are coming and going, they're in a rush, and he probably dealt with 300 people by that point. And he acted like we were the only people in the world to him. And great customer service, whoever it is, really makes a difference. It really changes how we look at a company, even the individual. So I want to celebrate him. I didn't get his name, but it was great customer service.
And you didn't want to share the name of the organization, and by chance they might want to sponsor our show?
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I would imagine people probably figured that out. Maybe not. And that's okay.
What's your one thing? Your celebration today, Tom?
So my celebration is I was preparing yesterday. I was talking with a client. We're doing a big board meeting, strategic planning discussion today. And as I was talking with the executive director yesterday, I could tell something was off. And so she shared with me that one of their board members had died. And it's someone who had been with the organization for, I think, 30 years, something like that. And this executive director had been with the organization for a long time as well. So she had significant interaction with this person. And I could tell that she was struggling with that because they had just found it out. The person didn't show up for their last virtual board meeting. And then they had no information. I guess he lived alone. And so it was kind of a shock to all of them that this was the case. And so what I want to celebrate is those people who give of their time to serve on boards, to help organizations, especially nonprofits, figure out how to take their next steps. Because those are challenging roles. And the people who give of their time, and usually in a nonprofit, you're not getting paid to be a board member. It is something that you do in service of the organization. And so I just want to celebrate those people who choose to do that.
I like that. That's great. And they really do play a huge role. And a lot of those people are doing it when they have full-time jobs and family commitments and all the other stuff, and they still fit that time in. So I think that should be our Renegade celebration, the people that go beyond just their own world and help the world become a better place by reaching out and getting involved in whatever cause is important to them. It could be being on the PTA. It could be coaching a baseball team. It could be helping with the beautification of the neighborhood. All those things that really make our communities special and so much more robust than if it were just us in it for only ourselves.
Awesome. All right. I like that celebration. So now, what were you going to say?
No, there was a pause there. I was trying to figure out what the pause was, but it may just be the technology.
Yeah, you seem to be a little slow, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. It'll come back. And now he looks like he's frozen. So I don't know if that's me or him, but we'll just keep moving forward. Hopefully he can hear me and we can continue with the conversation.
It's like on CNN from Europe. No, I'm here.
Yes. All right. Excellent. All right. So we've been talking all week. I don't know what that was. Bob just put his hands up, but all right. We're going to keep going. So we've been talking all week about Renegade marketing and the various things that are about that. We started off on Monday.
Tom?
I am here. I'm not sure you are. Are you with us, Bob? I am not sure that Bob is with us. So I'm going to keep going. So we talked this week on Monday about listen.
Okay. Keep going. I think we're good.
Okay. We talked on Monday about listen. And then Tuesday, we dove into asking more questions, which I found was a fascinating discussion Tuesday and Wednesday for me, not only about asking more questions, but leveraging the questions that we ask. And then yesterday, we dove a little bit into quality connections and sort of comparing that with the people who just want to make 1 million connections. And then so I think that it's been an interesting discussion about Renegade marketing. And so, Bob, do you want to kick us off with your thoughts or your discoveries? Oh, and Bob is no longer with us. So I am going to keep the conversation going and talk a little bit about what I discovered. And I think there were a couple of things. The first is that in terms of quality connections, it was interesting. I posted this on LinkedIn yesterday and gave people the chance to vote on whether they would have an email list of 1 million targeted audience, or they would have 10,000 first connections on 5 excellent connectors. If they could only choose one, which would they choose? And I asked them to share why in the comments. And there were some interesting thoughts about that. And I think many people initially thought about the 1 million email addresses. Some people really wanted to say the 5 connectors because they felt the value. So I'm not sure what has happened. Hopefully we're back. So I'm going to keep going. We seem to be having lots of technical issues. Bob has disappeared. So I'm going to continue on our discoveries of the week. And I was talking a little bit about this poll that I had on LinkedIn, where I asked people if they would rather have 1 million email addresses or 10,000 first connections on LinkedIn or 5 excellent connectors. And they could only choose one of them. And it was interesting how people chose. And someone who is heavily involved in marketing chose the 1 million email lists because they felt that the follow-up that they could do and the ability to follow up to people was what they would choose. A number of people chose the 5 strong connectors. They felt like if they had 5 people who not only knew and understood them and their business or their organization, that they could really make a difference in who they could connect them to within those 5 people's network. Not a lot of people chose the 10,000 first LinkedIn connections. But it was an interesting conversation about how each of us looks at the numbers that we value. and the connections that we have. And so I'm just would be curious. And if you have thoughts about that, I'd love to hear what you would like to share. I got a message here that Bob's phone overheated. So I'm not sure he's going to make it back to us. Maybe he will for the end, with the wrap up. But the part that really struck me this week in my discovery of the week was the whole idea around the questions that we ask and how we can ask more. I had the opportunity to do a Zoom connection call. Someone, actually a woman who does my bookkeeping, had met someone who does a lot of work in the nonprofit space and thought that it would be great if we connected. And so we did. We met either yesterday or Wednesday. Now the days are running in. I can't remember. And we had a good conversation. And I think he probably was surprised because for the first 25 minutes, all I did was ask questions about what he did. So he had a chance to share in fair detail exactly what was going on within his organization and who he tried to work with and what he was trying to accomplish. And I think that I have a feeling that he felt like that was a really good conversation. And then we spent a few minutes, 10 or 15 minutes, just talking briefly about what I do, who I help, who I work with. And, you know, I think it's always fascinating to me that people will, how long people will go as long as you keep asking them questions. And I feel like I was able to really learn a lot about not only him, but also about what he does and the work that he does. Because the work he does, he builds systems for smaller or developing organizations who need to customize and don't just want to take something out of the box or just some software that has been provided that serves everyone. They wanted something that can serve exactly their needs, typically around a CRM or the way they manage information. And so it was a really interesting discussion, learned a lot. And I think also I'm hopeful that he sees the type of person I am, that I am truly interested when I connect with someone, that I am not just out about how do I find a connection or a lead for me, that I'm trying to get to know and understand him. And I think that to me is at the heart of Renegade marketing, because marketing is really about your brand, whether that's your personal brand, your organization, or your business's brand, or your team. And even those of us who lead teams and organizations, there is typically a brand around those teams. I can remember when I was working in higher ed is that there, even though no one truly defined it, there was a brand that we would associate with different teams, whether they were in admissions or it was the major gift officers team, or it was alumni relations, or it was annual fund, that I think when you looked at them, they developed this brand, and that was how they shared themselves and how the world, the community saw them. And I think that part of marketing is helping people understand your brand so that they can better understand if they want to do work with you or if they want to connect or engage with you. And, you know, I think one of the ways to really discover those things is to ask questions. And so I think my discovery of the week is that asking questions can truly help you understand others, which then allows you to figure out how you can best market to them and how you can best share what's valuable. The fact that I asked this person all those questions allowed me to think differently about how I was going to respond when he asked what I did. He talked a lot about some of the challenges that organizations face, nonprofit organizations or associations face, that he helps them with on the technical side. So I had the ability to then talk about, well, here's how I help them on the other side of this. You know, all the times they're frustrated about all the other things that they have to do, that they can't figure out the time to learn, understand your systems, and that your systems help create more time. Well, I help them figure out how to better leverage that time so that they are focused on the things they are going to do. And what was fascinating about it was I could see in his face that he could see people who had those challenges, that he had worked with others. And he even said, you know, I know people who they spend a lot of time on things that aren't necessarily moving their organization forward. And they wonder why they struggle or why they aren't getting things. And so I think it allowed me to be clearer with him about what I do because I knew where he was coming from and who were the people with, understood their pain points. So to not belabor this point too much, the longer that you ask questions, the more that you will understand. And that will provide you the opportunity to then market to them and others in a way that is hopefully more effective and hopefully helps them see the people who you help. So that's my discovery for the week. If you have discoveries for the week, please feel free to share them in the comments, or you can go inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, post them on our post that is up. Hopefully Bob will go to that post and share his discovery of the week. So you'll want to go in and check out the Ring of Renegades Facebook group so that you can learn what was Bob's discovery of the week. And we look forward to seeing you inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we'll see you Monday morning, where hopefully Bob will be back and his phone or his computer will no longer be fried. And for our next edition of today's Antidote, we hope that you have a great weekend. We hope that you go out and embrace the renegade in you and celebrate those people who give of their time when they don't have to make this community and this world a better place. And with that, have a great weekend, and we will see you soon. Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.